me a note saying he can't see the program at all. It hasn't gone
This
live.
whole time?
Yeah,
Mhm.
now we are live. We got people on. Don't worry, you guys. Don't worry.
Wait, you should
Don't-
do
it
the whole fun
happens.
intro. Let's do
It's
the whole fun
okay.
intro. You
It's
could drop it
YouTube.
in.
It's YouTube, you guys. This happens. Look, we have 58 people. It happens. Don't,
Okay, so
don't trip. Don't trip. We're gonna start from the scratch.
but that's why.
happens
But I love your
sometimes.
intro. I love the degraded daughters intro.
Okay.
Let's
Here's
do
the intro. Sorry, everybody. We've been running late. We've been running late, but we're ready to go. So here you go. 1 second. Here's our cute intro.
You girls watch out for those DBs.
We are the DBs, mister.
Yes. Now that's what we're talking.
DBs, mister. Okay, welcome. We are live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. See what happens when we all put our phones on Do Not Disturb. We sit here, we talk, we mess around. We're not live, so we're starting from the top. We have so much to say that we felt it might be best to keep it a little bit shorter today, and we can always talk again. But I wanted to introduce my lovely co-hosts today. I'm myself, Vanessa La Rose, from the channel Degraded Daughters of Dianetics. This is my friend LARA FM over here.
Hi.
She has an awesome channel. Please subscribe. We're both streaming right now. And right below us is the Queen SP of them all, Miss Karen De La Carriere. Welcome, Karen.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
How are you ladies tonight?
Doing good.
This
Doing
is good. I'm so glad we all have each other right here in this little diamond. If anything goes wrong, we can always fix it.
Always.
Together.
Always.
So cute.
And we're figuring it out as we go. And that's because we're modern women in a modern world.
Yes. And we are amazing and fun and lovely. I'm so excited that Karen is here. This is really sweet and cute.
Me too.
Thank you. I wanted to tell you the story of your ancestor, second gen, Quentin Hubbard, one of the earliest second gens, the eldest son of L. Ron Hubbard, born in 1954, and dead 22 years later of suicide. Oh, I know all the conspiracy theories of the reason we know, and Janice Grady Gillum and I have discussed this in great depth, he had already tried to kill himself 2 years earlier in Madeira. He took a huge amount of pills. And just to give you the... Hubbard put him in the RPF for almost killing himself. That was his punishment. Can you imagine taking your child and RPFing them because they wanted to knock it off and not live anymore? Quentin was such an affable, amenable kind of guy. Some people have a very high affinity level. Both of you have that. Some people are more stoic and bland, or kind of, you just don't feel their affection. You both have you both are like, Quentin was arguably one of the most popular men on the Apollo. He was a boy, right? He was a boy. He had this high affinity level, and his passion was to be a pilot. He just wanted to fly. And he dramatized this all over the Apollo. He would make a kind of long nose, which was the airplane's fuselage pointing, and he would go, woo, and he could really imitate an airplane taking off. I just improvised. But Quentin could make those sounds, but he would go through follow you move out, an airplane's coming. Quentin was mimicking being an airplane. But we all knew how much he wanted to be a pilot. And to just tell you,
can I say one? Can I ask one thing, Karen? Do you think that was slightly not inspired, but like, do you think his father had something like, I don't know. I feel like, was the L. Ron Hubbard being a pilot and all that a thing then, or? I mean, because wasn't L. Ron Hubbard everything? Didn't he? Anyways, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to me, it sounds like he just wanted to be free.
The son, that's what I mean. But I'm 100%. I'm not even, of course, that's from day one. That's all children want to do. But what I'm saying is that this inspiration of being a plane, like him being the plane.
I mean, like flying away like a bird.
Free.
Like
flying,
like free.
You're like, I think from the start, he just wanted to be free. I'm like,
yeah, just fly away.
I'm glad you two pointed that out. I'm glad you two pointed that out, because Scientology absolutely beats the drum on freedom like a buzzword. Freedom from the bank, freedom from your aberrations, freedom from your stuck attention, freedom from your baggage, freedom. They're posters where they pitch to get your cash, to extort your cashes. Don't you want to be free of your addictions? We can free you. Freedom. And it's such an absurd dichotomy, because the more you get in, the more you are trapped. You're not set free. Freedom is a buzzword used in promo because they surveyed that. And they found out that human beings, one of their wants is to be free. So that, that's what we give you, freedom. As children,
that's what the United States of America is about, and that's what the war was fought for, and that's why we have our country, and that's why they pushed that button, because freedom is what we're all supposed to have, but somehow they dispense it.
The amount of trapping you experience once you're locked into the Sea Org is unimaginable. Laura, you know all about it. But you also grew up in a Scientology family that enforced unwanted. You were not free. You were under the jurisdiction of domineering parents who were misguided. I don't think in any way they were malicious, but this is what indoctrination and gaslighting do. It alters your mind to make you do things which you normally would not do if not indoctrinated. Back to Quentin.
Wait, Karen, can we clear one thing up since we were fixing our audio before this? Can I just ask, because I knew before I got to know you and before I was even like sobbing on the last episode when we were doing for Bob Ferris, I first want to say the reason that hit me so hard is just kind of all of the kids that have died in this way from under the quote unquote care or let's just say responsibility of Scientology. And then they've all died when they actually were totally dedicated to Scientology at the time, whether they were even trying to leave the Sea Org and then they were going to go get better, or they were still on post, like Jason Spallino's brother who passed away from, there's just so many. And it's like these are bodies these are humans that could have lived longer with their families had somebody actually had the concept of care and love in the Sea Org and Scientology organization, the structure, but it's completely missing. I don't want to jump away from what I was trying to say, but a lot of people, I got to know you recently, and I want to clear this up because a lot of people still have this idea when you leave the Sea Org, it takes years, and hopefully SPTV will clear this up faster for people. They'll be watching and they'll already be ahead of, I mean, it must be, our generations and everything are getting faster. But a lot of people, it takes years to get out. And there were moments I felt really annoyed and toward you and Jeff when the Over the Rainbow documentary came out. I mean, because I didn't know you guys, and I just felt like, who are these like people who are Scientologists hiding behind the camera? Like, it felt like that to me. And I want now that I've gotten to know you and I've heard your side, and I now want to be like, I want the world and everybody listening to have that cleared up. A lot of people go through a long process when you leave, and you're holding on. You just can't believe that I left this cult. My whole life was in this. When I went in, and my whole heart was there to help people and love and create and try to do okay, I had to follow certain rules and structures. But the thing is when you leave, you're still trying to hold on to some belief that some of those things are actually still valid and real. And I believe Karen and Jeff at the time, in those years when they were mentally leaving, were still trying to help people with Scientology auditing and fuck Scientology. And you're not doing what quote unquote LRH really wanted, and so we're going to do it our way. Like, that's great. I think it needs to be cleared up for the record that you guys have grown and you've completely come out of all of that. And even just seeing the Over the Rainbow documentary, a lot of people are very confused. Like, wait, are Karen and Jeff still Scientologists? No. The documentary, I mean, you can answer that. You can do all of that. But I'm just saying the Over the Rainbow documentary has it has the view of the director that made the film. Whatever that view is, that's his. It was not the view of why our children and why Karen and Jeff and everybody, the children of Scientology, all went on this documentary. So I do want to clear that up with everybody, because I want people to really get Karen. I want them to hear her. I want them to understand that she's here on this platform right now to talk about another generation of a child who was L. Ron Hubbard's freaking direct family member, and he lost in his whole life, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody has given him the platform to speak about his life. So thank God we have Karen here to be able to do that. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out there. Okay,
thank you, Laura. Very, very well spoken. That guy, Jeff, who did the filming, he came to see me over a period of 7 years. And the main thing that I agreed to was the death of Alec. He was going to tell the story of Alexander. And I said, you got all the footage. He deleted all that. And I'm sure he was flipped by OSA and given some money. And he made it look like he really doctored. I just learned how much you can do with editing. I would never give permission now to a film crew that sign off my rights without first seeing the final version. Anyway, it was.
But can I ask you, at that time, did you have a little bit of still hope for some of Scientology's technology at that time? Which, by the way, this documentary was filmed almost 5 or 6 years ago already, everybody. Okay, so yeah. Were you still at all... I don't know. Okay.
Look.
Well, also, Laura, hold on. Let me clarify for everybody. There's a difference, and we all understand as former people who have parents in the organization, there's a difference between walking away from Scientology, not going to the Church of Scientology, and then a lot of people stop in another area where they want to, like they still think L. Ron Hubbard or some of the tech is cool. And it's a whole different area that a lot of people do stay in. Some people don't stay there.
That's totally fine.
But no, I'm just telling the public, not you.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't even know what we're talking about.
I feel that about Karen.
No, I hear you. And then other people continue, and then they just go on to believe that this was a cult. Like, when you stop in the free zone or the indies, you're not believing it's a cult necessarily. You might think that the main church got away. But sometimes there's a level of peeling the onion, and I would never expect anybody to be deprogrammed overnight, let alone a decade later when they spent their entire formative years and like a lot of their life there. So anyway, I just want to clarify that for the public.
I just don't understand how anyone could give credence to Over the Rainbow when I've got 560 videos exposing L. Ron Hubbard, exposing that. Nobody looks at my YouTube channel. Well, that's not true. I get over 1 million views a year. I have 13 million views on my YouTube channel in 10 years. What does that mean if you crunch the numbers? Over 1 million a year. How could I have 13 million in 10 years? That's over 1 million views a year. But I don't know why all these people who watch I don't know who these people are who watched Over the Rainbow, but to ignore 560
Karen, everybody
videos.
did because they see our faces on it. The whole point is that the Over the Rainbow documentary was completely a joke compared to all the information that director was given. I mean, anybody in the chat, Vanessa, with our little editing skills, we could have made a documentary that showed with the information he was given that would have blown Scientology out of the water and right into the courtroom every single day. And that's why this documentary is so upsetting for all of us. Whether we have different perspectives of lives and stories of it or whatever, our purpose was to expose these horrible things, and none of it came out. A little bit of me crying about spankings. Great. I cried a lot more than that about a lot of other things. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to get to. I wanted people to
know. It was a scam. It was so weird.
Right.
It was
it's
all
stupid.
It's lovely that you're both were able to connect recently because you were actually both scammed.
Yeah,
and it sounds like neither of you got to tell your story.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, who knows whatever happened there?
He did have a good heart at the beginning. This was meant to go somewhere big. He got scammed as well. That's all there is to it.
I can give you the perspective as somebody who was under the radar, who was too afraid to comment or leave things on Facebook groups for a long time. It is confusing when mixed messages come out and people posture as second gen or other former members, but you don't know them personally, right? Like you don't have any history with them. And then they're like, well, so-and-so, Karen and Lara said that they have problems with this and you don't know you guys or whatever. So it actually is a bit more challenging to decipher if you don't know you personally. Right. So I did spend a bit of time under the radar taking in some of this garbage, not specifically, Over the Rainbow, but a lot of other OSA garbage that they've been putting out to keep us not together, as two different generations. So that's why we've just been, they tell the older ones that we're OSA and that we all have drug problems, which I think is hilarious. And then they tell us that you guys are OSA. And I've even heard, Karen, that you drink children's blood. So that's why, I've heard
so it. Karen, I just want to clear it up. Karen, are you still drinking kids' blood?
For the record, Karen.
Anyways, I'm just saying, guys, whatever you're seeing, even on the Over the Rainbow, obviously I was really mad about that thing. And it looked like he told a lot about my story. And it's not that way. So even I was confused about who Karen and Jeff were. That's all I'm getting to. So get to know the people directly, have conversations with them directly, and then,
I just want to put it in perspective. I have something like 2,700 friends on Facebook. I did not lose one friend due to this movie coming out Over the Rainbow. In fact, I got a surge of people asking for friendship. And I thought, oh my God, are these all OSA? Because I got a bump in friendship requests. I did not lose one dime in my Thomas Kincaid. Did my stats crash? Did people, second gen aren't my audience for the Thomas Kincaid paintings I sell, so it wouldn't affect. But I'm just saying, statistic-wise and happiness-wise, I was pissed that I was conned. But to me, it was, maybe it's invalidative to say that it was piss in the wind. But
it also, I think that things that make us stronger today are things that we were like, oh, you fucking conned me, but never will we be conned. Never will we join cults, right? Never will we be. I don't know. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
You don't give yourself enough credit. You're both powerful queens. Look at this. This is a joke. I mean, Karen's drinking children's blood because how else would she look like she's still in her 20s? Because you're an amazing queen. So people are jealous. That's why people talk about, oh my gosh, why do these people have all these lovely things? And like, because they're jealous.
And also, there's not a lot of people doing it. It's only 2 people, and they're all OSA. They're all OSA.
Well, but there's so many people who are all OSA. Like, I've gotten literally 60 randos in the last like week trying to get into accounts and stuff.
Yeah, no, I know. Vanessa's like the blocker. She's so good.
But Laura, Laura, I'm very glad you got into this and cleared it up. Thank you. That was needed.
That's all I wanted to do.
It was good.
Okay.
It was very good. Thank you, Laura.
I really do want to talk about Quentin. I want to talk about all that. This is amazing. So yes.
Okay, so Quentin is on the right-hand side there, the taller guy. Arthur is the shorter guy in the shorter brother this side. So Quentin didn't have the traditional red hair of the Hubbard family. He was blonde, blue-eyed blonde. And I want to get back into his story. Scientology, first of all, you can imagine if he liked guys and had feelings for boys, how incredibly humiliating it was for him to be reading that was just perversion. And that was that.
But do you think he was reading it? I think he was raised with
absolutely.
it. No, but I mean, he was raised with it, right? He was raised with it.
He was
raised even as a child to think, if I like this boy, even at 10 years old, if I like this other boy,
that was his parent. How could he avoid it?
That's what I mean. It's like he was 1-1 basically his whole since he was born.
Yes.
Absolutely. So sad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So Quentin, I explained to you, he never had an attitude. When you are son of the founder, you could throw your weight around a little. People would go, oh, that's Quentin. Quentin acted like one of the boys. You were one of his gang. You were one of his team. I told you, a very high affinity level for one and all. He didn't. So an old lady arrived in Clearwater called Grace Alpe, A-L-P-E. She was a New Zealander, and she had terminal cancer. And she was thrust into me to audit 5 hours a day. A person progressing towards terminal and cancer belongs in a medical facility, not holding the cans in Scientology 5 hours a day. And every single session she red tagged. Vanessa, go ahead and explain what it means to red tag after the session.
Okay, so when you red tag, essentially you don't have a floating needle afterwards. So when you are when you complete something, you just get it in your mind that the only way to leave this building is to get a floating needle some way or another, whether it's real or not. And I used to think it was real. A lot of people didn't. They just knew how to make the needle float, so they didn't get red tagged. But when I was doing a lot of auditing things and I would go home, I would get a call and be like, wait, the case supervisor, who's the person who tells the auditor what to do, they said you didn't actually have a floating needle and the examiner missed something, because you go from your session with your counselor or auditor, then you go to the examiner to make sure that your needle's going back and forth so that like you're in a good mood. And if that doesn't happen, you have to come back within 24 hours. That's a red tag.
Very good. Thank you, Vanessa. So
wait, I want to add one more thing. You also, the main thing about a red tag is the organization loses all the stats.
Oh yeah.
There's something about, if you do not get that red tag handled within a certain amount of time, I think it's 24 hours, that division loses all their statistics that every human has been working for that organization. They lose there's something about that. They lose all the stats for the day or the week or something. They think it's the day. They lose all the stats for that day.
Okay, so she was with me for 3 months, 5 hours a day. Every single session was red tagged. So I could not count them as well done. Auditing is not well done if they red tag. So I had no stats. It was like I had produced 0. So I got no pay, no stats, no day off. All my libs were canceled. And I was starting to get frowned on. I felt sorry for this poor woman. And then she started befriending Quentin. And before I knew what, she was sleeping in Quentin's room at the Fort Harrison. Quentin would sleep on the floor, but he gave Grace Alp his bed.
How old is Grace? How old is Grace?
Nearly 80, 78, 80.
Oh my God.
But you see, Quentin had this affinity for all people. And he felt an empathy that she was going to die. And they would talk and they would have meals together. And no, it wasn't, there was nothing sexual there or anything. It was just compassion and empathy.
Care.
Right. And then.
Like a parent, kind of.
Yeah.
But but remember we were saying earlier, to give care or love or flow, anything can easily be turned into a sexual thing. So that's why we have to explain it's not sexual. Yes. Because in the Sea Org, that would be considered, why are you giving this person so much love and care?
Yeah, it's called a 2D flow.
2D flowing. You're 2D flowing.
Yeah. We went into that in great depth. I'm so sorry that maybe on another show we can get back into knowledge reporting you for a 2D flow, which is what Alexander complained to me a lot. Anyway, back to Grace Alp. After she got so befriended by dear Quentin, he was maybe 21, 20 years old at the time. He then demanded that Quentin be his auditor. I don't want Karen, I want Quentin. And because she was red tagging daily and it obviously I wasn't getting anywhere with her, they took her away from me and gave her to Quentin. This is all very relevant on what I'm telling you about Quentin's story. I can't even tell you the relief that I didn't have to fight to try and help someone who went on for 3 months like this. So Quentin had her. And then Quentin, in his desperation, did some funky, we call it squirrel when it wasn't Hubbard. He just did something. And he was sent to Dennis Ehrlich. I think
I know that guy.
A couple of the Ehrlich, a couple of his kids are second gen.
Yeah, I've talked to him before.
And Dennis Ehrlich was the cramming officer. And he looked at the folder and he said, Quentin, all your certs are canceled. You have no okay to audit whatsoever. You have to train from the bottom up. When you did the briefing course, you had to stomach going through 360 1 hour, 2 hour, 1.5 hour taped lectures, 360 lectures. Quentin's a 21-year-old. He wants to play a little. When you go on full-time training, it's like 10 hours a day that you're stuck in a chair being indoctrinated by Hubbard. And the reason I tell you all this was Dennis pronounced Quentin's certs were gone. Quentin vanished within half an hour. That precipitated Quentin, what we call blowing, unauthorized leave. He fled. He escaped. He wanted his freedom. He wasn't going to sit and listen to 365 2-hour tape lectures, all 10 hours of his life going through the rituals of every level. He'd lost his certs.
But may I ask you a question? Don't you think that L. Ron Hubbard ordered Dennis Ehrlich to do that? Because I don't think
Hubbard
would.
No, Hubbard was in La Quinta. Hubbard was not aware of any of this.
Oh, okay.
The cramming
either way, he was using Hubbard's tech to do this. So I just want to point that out. It's not really that human. It's like the situation.
Correct. Yeah. So now you know why Quentin fled. He fled on this pronouncement and judgment that he was so messed up that he could not even sit and counsel anyone. He had to re-indoctrinate every word Hubbard's, and he was a class 12 at the time. So he fled.
At how old?
He was 21. He was 21, 22.
I don't think the public even understands how hard that is. It's like ridiculous to be a class 12. So, whoa.
Oh God, it's brutal. You burn the midnight oil. No days off. It is brutal, the training level. Anyway, Quentin left. And of course it caused an earthquake in Clearwater. Like,
do you know where he went?
Well, nobody knew where he went. Nobody. And the entire Guardian's office, the precursor to OSA, were taken off whatever post they had. That post is suspended. Search for Quentin. Go to every mortuary, every single hospital in the entire United States to see if he ended up in emergency in a hospital. Go to every flying club that gives flying pilot lessons. There was about maybe 600-700 Guardian office staff at the time. Every single one of them worked 12 hours a day trying to find Quentin. And a guy in intelligence called Chuck Ohl. Chuck Ohl works for that Glendale outfit that's full of the ex-GO. They do insurance.
I've heard that name a lot. I used to work in Glendale in all those buildings with them.
Yeah. So Chuck Ohl came to me and he said, Karen, we know you were close to Quentin and we really, truly need you to dig deep in the recesses of your mind and give us clues. Where could he have gone? Where would he be? And of course, we discussed his passion for flying and how much he would want flying classes. Chuck made good notes of that. And Quentin didn't leave a clue. He just vanished. Nobody will ever know what happened in those 2-3 weeks that he was gone. It's a complete blackout. And then Audie Marin and Mary Rosanico, these were Guardian office people. They were alerted that there was someone in a Las Vegas hospital semi-conscious. He was twitching and having seizures, like epileptic seizures, but wasn't dying. And for a whole week, when he was brought into this, I think the hospital was called Sunrise in Las Vegas, he wasn't dying, but when he was found, he was completely nude and he had no ID at all. No driver's license, no nothing. Not a peep or hint of a document. And when they pulled him out of the car, the exhaust of the car, when you rewire a car so that the exhaust, you're breathing in that kind of carbon dioxide. I don't understand it.
Yeah, no, it's a common death.
Yeah. However, the cult or Mary Sue Hubbard or whoever strongly wanted to deny that, and they said he died of a cerebral accident, which is a blood clot that's gone to your head. The cult did not want anyone to think he would have rewired the car. So there's conflicting reports and stuff. Cerebral accident is what. And when Hubbard was told, but by the time Audie Marin and Mary Rosonico arrived to pick up the dead body at Sunrise Hospital in Las Vegas, Quentin had passed. You know, he lasted doing these twitches and shivers and epileptic fits. And Hubbard, who supposedly knew all the tech in the world, could not locate his son to reverse this. And instead, when Hubbard was told Quentin was dead, this is well recorded by numerous sources, he screamed, "That fucking boy, he deliberately did this to harm my reputation." He screamed with anger. And Mary's primordial wail of only the kind of wail a mother can give when she's just been told her son is dead. She just screamed. But Hubbard was so angry. How dare Quentin muddy up the reputation of a guru of the New Age movement by dying like that?
And it's so ironic how it was really, you know, that's his parent and he was responsible for his development. And look exactly how he turned out, raised by the word of child Dianetics and this man.
Well, Quentin died because he could no longer live the life of a second gen. This scheduling every square inch of his existence, every hour. What is your production?
Karen, this is what you have been explaining is literally what has happened to every single underage Scientologist that has who has unlived themselves, who is no longer with us. Like every single one. And the thing is the same attitude that L. Ron Hubbard himself, as you just explained, had, is the same attitude that people have when they're in the Sea Org.
Yeah.
When somebody chooses to do this, they say, "Oh, what a DB, what a selfish, what a down-tone asshole." Basically, look at what he did to PR to make us have this bad PR. What an SP. It's thought of as a negative. You selfish. You're doing and the way you just explained L. Ron Hubbard reacting that way when the mother is bawling. You hear her like this is the concept of L. Ron Hubbard program.
But that's why our parents treat us how they treat us, because
right now,
they think this man is a smart person. And I always brought this point up, like the quote from L. Ron Hubbard Jr. I don't have it in front of me, but it's essentially, "I have lived a very miserable life due to L. Ron Hubbard, and you can quote me on that." And that really stuck with me as, wow, this own man's child died by suicide. I couldn't find much on it. There is stuff on it, but Scientology is really good at changing things after the fact, and history is remembered by those who are reporting it as accurate. And sometimes we don't always get the full story because of the PR machine that's going on in there. So there may be all types of conflicting reports, which are normal on anything that comes to Scientology or us or anybody who makes Scientology look bad. But the reason I was so excited to have Karen on is because I have spent 15 years looking online for this interview, and we have not had really any that I know of, just so much up close and personal talk about who he was as a human before his life ended prematurely, as so many of our friends have.
And I
You
also
know,
want
that's
people to,
beautifully
before
spoken,
I won't,
Vanessa.
I
Yeah.
won't interrupt anymore because I do want to hear the story. I just want to also remind people that L. Ron Hubbard declared 3 or 4 of his own family son. So we're SPs right here. L. Ron Hubbard did that to his own children. He was like, I cannot wait to never speak to you again. You don't exist anymore. So yeah, that's all I want.
Thank you, Laura. I do want to give a little shout out to Serge Delmar. I just am so... See, Serge went through this. He was forced as a... In Serge, it's just a little bit worse. So I don't think anyone could put orders of magnitude of better or worse, but his parents put him in. His parents, who supposedly your parents shield you and guard you and are your caretakers. That's the definition of a parent. You care for your child, and they threw him and sacrificed him as a donation to the Sea Org. Anyway, Serge is doing really good. I had to just...
Serge is one of our favorite people ever. And although I typically really don't find it helpful to compare trauma, because typically people don't speak up because they think other people's trauma is worse, but it was all so different. But I do agree that when you're a child auditor like he was, and he was up close and personal counseling adults and hearing their internal sexual fantasies at such a young age of his development, and essentially acting out bondage type situations, bossing adults around at too young of an age, it's just so unhealthy. And I really am so proud of the powerful and strong person he is, because wow.
And he says it as it is. Serge says it as it is. And Serge has taught me, I mean, we've taught each other fucking a lot of things on different aspects of life. But Serge, let me tell you, has clearly just helped me very clearly go, hey, babe, but it's this. And it's like, it is that. Why am I so afraid to call it rape? Why am I so afraid to call it child trafficking? Why are we so afraid to call it sex trafficking? Why are we so afraid to call it child abuse? Why are we so afraid to call it senior abuse? Why are we so afraid to call it inhumanity, to let people not eat for so long, to have restrictions, and to have people feel that their spiritual freedom only exists in an auditing room that you're trapped in under extreme pressures of insane fucking pressure of questions that you're literally some of us are too young to even understand what these insane, disgusting, manipulative, perverted, disgusting fucking, that's all I can say,
but Lara, you're posing a question, why don't people talk? This is why
no
I'm
not saying why don't they talk.
Okay.
I'm
just
sarcastic.
talking to the public. I know. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the public. So why are we the ones up here? Because we actually have gotten to a point in our life where we have said, I don't care. We don't give a fuck. Yeah. And also, we don't care if you go on the internet and say things about us. We're just who we are. We grew up with this scarlet S on our chest, which was Scientology. And we're going to live with this for the rest of our lives if we choose to speak. And we're going to also lose our families. And if they're still in, or our friends, or anybody who was there during all of our lives. So it's hard for some people, but it's also so freaking empowering when you actually get your freedom of speech for the first time. And that's why you and I are doing it. That's why Karen's been doing it a long time. That's why so many people have joined SPTV. So it's kind of like, there are consequences because Scientology is horrible. But also, wow, so proud of you for being here, girlfriend.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There goes Foxy. But Karen,
the other person I must mention is Christy Gordon, beloved Christy Gordon. It's heartbreaking if you saw her on the Aftermath. By the way, I was on the Aftermath. I was in season 1. They don't seem to when they
This
talk
is
about
her.
it.
This is her. Children of Scientology
Yes,
have been suffering
that's
in
Christy.
Scientology
That's Christy.
for generations, over and over and
yeah,
over. Same harm,
yeah,
different kid.
yeah,
She's awesome,
yeah.
you guys.
Christy, you did incredible on the aftermath. You really did. You really did. Anyway, this is all so dark. We're looking at we're looking at a very dark thing. So I wanted to kind of, I've got a ton of inside stories that I can share with you. So I hope I come back again. I want to just end off on a laughter note, on if there's any laughter possible.
I'm going to bring up some comments I have starred before you do that. Would you mind?
Okay.
And I don't want to respond. I just want to like show them because I know we're on a little schedule. So this one was funny from your friend. I don't know if you recognize him, Karen. He might be your husband, common law husband. I don't know. He said, I heard Cece, I and Pac have locked down during this D3 live. Hey, you know what? I think they have. This is too powerful for them to do anything else. Also, this was when we were talking about things on the tone scale. We were talking about body death being very low toned, 0.0. So you're frowned on, not helped, which is true. Like if you're at 0 on the tone scale, that's body death. And anything above, 2.0 anger is acceptable, but anger is acceptable. But anything below it, like sadness, not acceptable. You ladies, I wanted you to see this just because it's so sweet. Absolute magic collection of women. They lead with kindness, heart, truth, and healing. This person, Alicia, it's wild you guys are discussing unaliving tonight. I've been battling my own struggle and discussing. This is so validating and destigmatizing. And that is exactly why we're here, because it's very normal. And especially in our community, please don't ever feel alone. Just reach out, okay? Goldie, also happy birthday, Goldie. It's your birthday. We love you so much. We read this one, but we love you too, Christy, just always. Juliana, incredible, the scientologist, one of our wonderful never ends. The whole tone scale is problematic, but the whole 1-1 thing is so harmful. That is so true, and that is what happened to anybody who considered themselves not straight as an arrow, or if Scientology even considered you not straight as an arrow. Some people weren't, and they just hit it. This is a cute little thing. Apparently, we have some cuties playing a show in LA at the State Social House in West Hollywood. So you guys, there's some info right here if you're in town. I don't know. We might all be there. It's like, could be a fun night. We'll see. We'll have security. Don't worry. And essentially that was, this one was really important. Goldie is a goddess among us mere mortals. Obviously, it's her birthday. And then this one was really important too. The handling for this is ethics interviews by adults who will interrogate you about sex. And as if that's not enough, you will be slut-shamed by the group and other adults as children. And that is what happens when you get written up for 2D flowing and all that. So we're going to talk about all of it a lot more. We have so much to talk about, especially as women. It's a different experience, and we have 2 different generations here to reflect, and all of Karen's just like incredible insight.
Is there more photos or anything, Vanessa?
Not for tonight, but we can
Not
always
for tonight.
zoom in a bit later. We can always bring some more up. We just kind of threw it together because we just really wanted to get together and talk, and we've been trying to get everybody to join in on these conversations, because why are we doing it on the phone?
Yeah.
Let's just do it live, and everyone can see her, see you, see me, see what we do in our life on SPTV. We're not produced. We don't need to be.
No. So, but I was so if I'm gonna do this is so fun, and if Karen, if you're like, okay, time out, schedule done, then that's cool. We obviously, there's a lot more. There's so many people that have a lot of questions for you and about Quentin and everything. So yes, for sure, we would definitely, I feel like definitely need to do this again. I also think I'm gonna just maybe go on live myself on my own channel, LARA FM TV, and just do whatever I'm gonna do next. So maybe in an hour, I'll do it at 7. But I'm down until y'all are down. And thank you, Karen, so much. Like even
Karen, I think has something else to say though.
Oh,
well,
good.
there's just one final thing on Quentin, and that is, as many of you know, I was a case supervisor. The auditing sessions would come to me to see that they were done standardly and so on. And as a CS, I talked to other CSs. Like dentists know other dentists, lawyers coordinate with other lawyers. CSs would have their own group that they. And after Quentin died, and it was known that he died, 2,000 women in the Los Angeles and Clearwater area claimed their new baby was reincarnated Quentin. 2,000 women. I had women even sort of waylay me in a corridor and say, "Can you see the baby? Can you recognize? Look at his blue eyes. Don't you see Quentin there?" They literally believed, 2,000 different women, that Quentin died and took a baby body in their family.
Hey, try dating a man who died in the or who was born into the Hubbard family in 1986. There were sure a lot of expectations on that poor boy. I have something to share with you guys real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We've been supporting each other so much and like just being there for each other when we need each other, having each other's back. And so we have a little surprise for you guys. Are you ready, Lara?
Sorry, I was literally like,
Hey, everybody.
Liz and Vanessa, this is a major high crime right here.
Hold on, let me turn on the sound so she can hear. This is such a freaking high crime right now.
Liz, I said this is a major high crime right now. You and Vanessa together, what y'all should just be, the golden rod should just be stacking up right now.
Right?
Look at you two. This is out ethics.
It is totally okay.
Look at Vanessa like, I don't care.
I mean, she's doing the share, the shoo.
Liz, you need to get in frame. Stop being unprofessional. Yeah, there you go. Hug the chair harder.
Mm.
Oh, wait, I was covering her chair so you guys wouldn't know where I was.
Oh, smarty.
This is a big reveal.
What a smarty.
Yeah, no, Osa found me up here, so we figured might as well bring her because we were I was trying to get out of town, get some space, get some people off my back because they're just everywhere. And then they found us up here anyway. They were being creepy today. So you know, you
creepy
guys,
as always.
I literally went out to lunch and told her partner, wife, love, that this guy behind her was like creeping me out. And I thought like, oh, let's keep an eye on this guy or whatever. So he was keep creeping. I asked for the check. So he asked for the check. I was like, oh, this is weird. So I go get my coffee, different location. I had already seen him. He had tried to like film, his partner had tried to film her partner and the children. And we literally like 45 minutes later, I look up and this exact same man is sitting next to me, staring at me, making eye contact, and then circles the parking lot until I leave. And I was like, cool. This is totally normal.
it's totally normal up here. Like,
well, no, it's not normal up here. I mean, like Osa's normal in LA. It's not normal up here. So we were like, man, if they already know I'm here for, you know, a few more days and I'll be up here a little while, then, you know, we don't have to hide it now.
no.
Can I just give you my successful action to to get them to knock this off. First of all, I've had this for years. PIs. One PI, John Hernandez, came to ring the doorbell of my neighbors and says, what does she have late night parties? Got any dirt on her? They were questioning my neighbors, and my neighbors got furious because I'm the kingpin. I have everybody's email address on Oxford, Serrano, Hope. We're like 100 list email address, and we inform each other on anything going on in the neighborhood, or if something's sold at a high price. It's a neighborhood thing. And I maintain the mailing list, and I've maintained the mailing list for 15 years. So I'm considered the top gun here. And they just used foul language and told him to get the F out, and he never came back again. But that was only the start of the PI stalking me. I had a guy called Jim Lynch who was writing for them in Freedom magazine. And he would come and ring my doorbell and say, I'm here to interview Karen De La Carriere. We want to do...
I remember that name from the Freedom magazine.
Jim Lynch. Well, he came a few times. He would have a PI with a loaded gun in his car, right outside my electronic gates. And 6 months later, he was dead of cancer. Tony Ortega called me and said, Karen, he's dead. And I said, he died? He was, a week ago, he was hassling me. And the reason Tony needed verification of the death certificate, because you can't publish something and say someone's dead and then they're not dead. Boy, do you look like a fool, right? Oh, Liz, I'm sorry to even talk about someone dead and not being dead, to your incredulous story of believing you'd lost your father for 19 years. You believed he was gone. What? It's beyond belief, but par for the course. Anyway, the message I wanted to give Vanessa very quickly is, I get really fed up. I don't go to their property and ring their bell and demand to see the commander. They're coming to my home. And they did this over and over again. So finally, Jeffrey got a nice, expensive video camera. And within minutes of them visiting, we had it up on YouTube. And eventually it dawned on the cult, hey, we're giving them footage, and she's getting thousands of views on the PI harassment. She's getting views. Like, one girl came to me, everyone knows I do bird rescue, right? Baby birds have fallen off nests, and I do a lot of bird rescue. So this woman comes through and she said, I just want to see Karen I think there's a baby bird and she can help. And Jeffrey said, where's the bird? And she said, well, I don't have it right now. But she said, I just want Karen to know that things are different. Things are so much better in the church. Wow. And we knew she wasn't there for bird rescue. She wanted to see me to tell me that things had changed. Karen should give it a chance. It's different now.
That's always the line.
And
so it's so obvious.
We videoed it all, and in 6 minutes it was on YouTube. We mocked it. Oh, things have changed. There's a good guys. This church is not a monster. It's a sweet, benevolent kind. Put it up on YouTube. And
thankfully, Jeff put the video up the first time it started happening around my work, when I had gotten incredible footage of this man harassing me and just taking photos for no reason, just really freaking me out. So I was happy to have that happen. So it's a good practice.
Vanessa, if you whip out your phone when there's a creepy guy, as much as you don't want to look at and face him, if you whip out your phone and take a little video camera, these PIs hate publicity. They're covert. They don't want their face on the internet. If you grab some footage and start using it, that PI will vanish into thin air. Do it. Whip out your phone, especially take a close-up of the face. Publish it on YouTube. and watch how quickly he disappears. Mm-hmm. I got to run. Run. Lara,
Wait,
big hug
come
to
back
you.
and say bye.
Big hug to you.
Thank you so much
Bye-bye.
for joining us, Karen.
Thank
Liz,
you
lots of
Do
blessings
not
to you.
forget to like, subscribe, all these things. Follow everybody's channels. We need likes on all of them, comments, everything. Thank you guys for joining us. Lara, love you. Karen,
Love you guys. I thought we were sending Karen out, and then we were still gonna do a little chit chat with little Liz right there, and you guys.
I mean, we were planning on an hour. What do you think?
That could work.
Can
I
you
gotta hop up and go to the bathroom and
zoom
stuff,
me out?
but maybe we'll just
I'll
hop
zoom
in
you
on
out,
your
Karen.
side.
Love you guys.
zoom me
Love
out.
you, Karen.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
But we can still chat and hang out, Liz.
Okay,
What
well,
did
I have
you?
to
What
take a
dirty
break,
things?
so if we
What
want to
dir-
meet you guys over there,
Okay,
we
you
could
know what?
come
Meet
in.
me on my channel then. Why don't you
Okay.
guys come meet me on my channel? I'm going to be talking about
Okay,
kid stuff, so
send
it'll be
us a
so
link.
cool to have you, the little smart little brains of the child. Whatever you guys want to do. I'm
Send
going
us
on
a
at
link.
7. Going on at 7,
Okay.
everybody. Okay.
Mwah.
Love you. This was amazing. Karen's
This was so fun.
yeah.
Thank you guys.
Her heart is
everybody,
so
for-
big. Karen.
Yeah.
She really, and I'm like, I want people to understand her. Anyways, yeah. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
love you.
here.
Hold
Okay.
on, don't hang up.
Hold on.
Okay. I love you,
You have
Vanessa. We all love
Wait,
you.
you have a change of host coming.
And up now is
Up now, ladies and
so
gentlemen.
wait, we need so you should edit Vanessa's name to Liz to yours.
I don't know how to do that.
I'll do it. Let's see if I can do it. OMG WTF. Let's see if I can do it. Edit name. Damn, I'm getting good at this, guys. Liz. And it's Ferris FERRIS,
FERRIS, like Ferris
Yep,
wheel.
I already knew it. All right, here we go. This is so cute. And I am going live on my channel.
No, I know. We'll be there.
Liz, I would love for you to jump on the channel. We're talking about cadets and all this. If you know any cadets, jump in, chime in. I want people on there we go. Boom. I want people on my channel. For me, my channel specifically is very focused on cadets of Pack Ranch, Clearwater, Int Ranch.
You mean
And
describing the atrocities that we had to go through?
Yes, but then also it is also the parents that were in the Sea Org. And so the parents who have kids that, for example, Mike Rinder has his son, one of his daughter, who was made literally David Miscavige brainwashes. Let's not actually make any claims here. I'm just going to say one of his daughters, who's definitely a hardcore Scientologist in the Sea Org, I've known my whole life, who has been in my life in random ethical situations. Taryn Rinder is her name, who is online attacking her dad. So it's like the opposite of you and your dad and Bob Bears and your situation.
Well,
like, she's on the opposite, inside the bubble, inside of the poison. She actually loves her dad very much. That's the truth. Taryn Rinder actually loves Mike Rinder very much. That's the fucked up thing. If she had somehow, just within 48 hours was sucked out of there and went to a psychologist and went through a little, and boom, it would end. It would end. That's the crazy thing. Anyhow, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
So I'm just saying the same poison is in the same.
I wasn't in the PAC cadet org. Like I tried it for a day. And again, you'll notice. Like,
what do you mean?
Kids
we should, and this is about, this was our Karen De La Lara, I'm going on at 7. So you should just be my, is everybody listening? So
but I was in Florida.
But that's what I'm doing. I'm talking about any cadet life of any children of the cadet org, or if your parents were in the Sea Org who then were leaving and then now can't get you out because you have or somebody knows, oh, so-and-so's son is definitely in the Sea Org. So-and-so's daughter is definitely a Scientologist, was not allowed to join the Sea Org.
That was my vibe, because realistically, I'm all about doing the whole, you know, if you know someone that's in, reach out. If you don't want to be a public figure, it's okay. Because I guarantee you, a month ago, I wasn't like, hey, I want to be a public figure. I was literally like just enjoying reading my comics, playing, you know, collecting Pokemon, you know, doing stuff with the kids. And now we're being followed, and, you know, my fruity gay butt is being followed by men. I think that's a straight thing. But we're just going to go, okay, like, hi.
I think you know what, you want me to give my advice on PIs and stuff. It's like film them and take pictures and take notes, and
Absolutely.
then continue to live your life, because trust me, I can't wait to show you some stuff. But I don't need to advertise it. I don't need to advertise it because I know OSA is watching this, and dude, my life is fucking solid and everything I do, and I'm very aware all the time of who's where and what's going on. There's no tricking.
Yeah.
There's no tricking.
No.
There's no tricking me. There's no tricking me.
Have you listened to Whiskey Lullaby yet?
Only because you have said that like 5 times now.
Okay.
And so on the next channel, I'm going to end this because Vanessa would just be like, oh, so you guys are just adding, this is fun.
Wait, she's saying wait.
Great daughters. Okay, well, I love you, and I'll see you guys in 30 minutes.
She said wait.
Ooh, I'm holding. I'm not going to end it, obviously. I was just saying I don't want to be disrespectful.
Ending it, Lara.
Don't end the session.
Stop. I just wanted to say thank you to my good friend here, Elizabeth Ferris, for giving me my own favorite Betty and Veronica comic. Because I loved this comic when I was a kid, and that's like us. We're like Betty and Veronica. So, and then also a very, very sweet new mug I have. And it says, let's go fuck shit up. So, hey, that's what we're doing. We have some.
You're like, duh.
We have empowered women, empowering women. Cute little things. So we just wanted to like show some love, say thank you to the people who had given us this.
You guys are awesome. You guys are so supportive,
Lara.
Nope. We're going over to the LARA FM TV.
All right. We'll see you over there, girl.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Goldie. Happy birthday. See you soon.
Happy birthday, Goldie. I'll sing for you at the beginning. Bye.
Bye. Hold on.